Cheers, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of my pathetic life as a homeowner, where it's always maintenance and progress. I keep saying that over and over, but that's just the reality of how it goes owning a house and owning cars and being cheap, like I am. Anywho, this episode is gonna be a quick one. It's gonna be kind of niche-y, so it might not apply to all of you, but it might apply to some people where they run into problems doing backsplash. Now, backsplash, I feel like there's a million videos. 3-year-olds are doing it on YouTube nowadays and getting tons of subscribers. Grandmas are doing them. Everybody in the middle is doing them. The first-time DIYers are doing them. So I do not want to bore you to death by you watching me put down tile by tile of what I'm going to be doing. So instead, I'm going to show you some of the problems that I'm going to run into doing my backsplash after I got new countertops put in. Now, I got these beautiful quartzite, not quartz, quartzite countertops put in, and after the installation, they left me with some problems. The countertops are fine. However, the install created a bit of a problem for me. Now, the original plan was to rip all of this shit out and start fresh with drywall. And that plan has recently changed, and I will go through why that changed and what my first problem is and what my first, I guess, obstacle is to make me or force me to put tile on tile backsplash. Again, I was gonna rip it all out, but I'm kind of being forced, not necessarily forced, but led towards putting tile on tile backsplash. So let me start off with the problem why I'm putting tile on tile backsplash. And let me have a sip first, cheers. So here's my problem. The original countertops that they ripped out had a little bit of a backsplash itself, right? As you can see here. Now, when they were doing the measurements, they obviously measured it really well, and they were supposed to add an extra inch of countertop in all of these locations to compensate for this backsplash, which they did everywhere except right here. I guess the guy, he was talking to me, we're having a conversation, and he forgot to add an extra ½ an inch or even a ¼ inch would have been perfect, and it would have allowed me to rip out all of the old drywall and backsplash. Here is the problem. If I were to put new, hopefully I don't lose this tile. If I were to put new drywall in and then put tile over it, I got a gap. And this is my first problem with the direction I am gonna be going. So, because of that gap, I would have to figure out a way to nudge the studs out and put the drywall on after that, which I can do, but in hindsight, after kind of humming and hawing over this, the reality is I'm better off just to put tile on top of tile, and it gets rid of that gap as you see here. So this is my first problem, all right? Second problem, I have a gap here of tile. So now what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna have to fill this in with some spare tile I got kicking around, some scraps. That's the first problem. Now, the third problem, which one should I pick? Well, let's put it this way, okay. The third problem is I'm gonna be cutting a herringbone style pattern. Is that really a problem? I love cutting tile, that's why I'm doing herringbone. No, that's not, that's a complete lie. My wife wanted to go that direction. I was kind of humming and hawing. I don't wanna do all the cutting, but it is what it is, she wins. And I'm stuck with the cutting. So I'm gonna talk about the herringbone. I'm not gonna get detailed into the herringbone, but I'm gonna give you some pros and tips. Pros and tips, is that the correct way? I'm not even a fucking professional. By the way, call me out on shit. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just your average Joe DIYer. So, but anyways, I'm gonna be taking some unique situations here and making this whole video about it. Fourth problem. I'm gonna run into a situation where my tile is gonna be on top of tile right here, and I got this major, what do you call it? Space to fill, and I'm gonna have to figure out how to do that. So I got about over a half an inch between the wall and the two sets of tiles. So that's gonna be a little awkward. Gotta figure that one out. And then on this side, because of I used to have a bar top there, that's in another video, I'm gonna be stuck with the challenge of putting the backsplash all the way through to the end of the countertop right there. So on this side, I'm gonna have no tile and just a single tile. So the gap right there is gonna be 1/4 inch. And like I said, on this side, it's tile on tile. So my gap's gonna be over half an inch. So I'm gonna have to deal with that. And that is basically what I'm gonna be focusing this entire video on. And like I said, I'm gonna try not to make this a slow, boring DIY. I'm just gonna hit the problems, record it, and then move on to the next problem, record it. So hopefully you learned something. Let's go from there. Look at this train wreck. Wow, big hole here. Don't matter, half-ass it. Cover it with some tile. We're just gonna tile over it anyways. Soapy water, rinse. Or wash. Electrical, out. All right, electrical is out. We are at a point now where I find like this is where everybody goes a different direction. How to stick the tile onto the wall, or tile onto tile in my case. Now, this is the direction I'm going with. I don't know, some of you might not agree. I don't think it might not even be necessary, but this is the direction I'm going with. Long story short, I am gonna be applying this primer. It's called Eco Prime Grip by Map AI. I don't know how to pronounce it. Anyways, somebody can correct me. Anyways, long story short, this is a multi-purpose bond promoting primer. So what that's gonna do is, it's a primer. I mean, if you don't know what a primer is, it just helps bond stuff. That's about it. So I'm gonna be painting all of these tiles with a primer. So let's get at it. I'm one of those lazy DIYers. I'm gonna create a huge mess probably, but this stuff's pretty runny. So just to give you the basics on this product that I am currently using, wow, it's making a mess here. Thank God I put this garbage bag down. Probably not the best roller for this either, but it is what it is. This product, it says, let it dry basically 60 minutes and don't keep it overnight or 24 hours. So basically, after 60 minutes of application, it's time to put the tile and mortar / adhesive onto this product. It says you can do 2 coats. I don't plan on doing 2 coats. Might be better to do 2 coats, but I ain't doing it. 1 coat it is. 1 coat is on, and to give you an idea of how much I used, I had to buy this. This was the smallest jug, which is 1 gallon. That is all I used. I'm not gonna do 2 coats. It went on really quick, probably in a matter of a couple minutes. And now it's time to let it dry. Total waste of money though. How? All right, it's been many, many moons later since the beginning of this project. Oh God, it's been weeks. I'll get into that in a little bit, but it's probably gonna be its own separate video. All right, back to the challenges. All right, everything's done. It is all done. And to be honest with you, I think it looks awesome. Getting there sucked. Let me just cover the problems at the beginning of the video here. Hold on a sec, where the hell did I leave that shit? First things first, tile on tile, I'd 100% do it again. It was easy to do. I can't even tell that there's tile underneath this. And realistically, by the spacing, what, a 1/4 inch difference, popped it out. Totally do it again. what was the other issue? So there's the third issue was the infamous herringbone pattern. I would never, ever, ever do herringbone on a backsplash again. It was an absolute shit show of precision cutting, making cuts wrong, just waste of time, so much effort. I'm gonna make another video on just the herringbone because it was just beyond what I wanna ever do again. Anyways, so I'm gonna skip that, subscribe. I'll have another episode coming up. All right, so the other problems was, because I had tile on tile here, I had this space, and this is how I solved this space. So I went and bought 2 versions of this transition, and I bought it at Floor & Decor. So I bought a 1/2 inch version, which is what you're seeing here, and I used the 1/2 inch version like this, and I put a bunch of mud in there, and I basically butted up against it. So the tile did butt up against it. Now the tile sticks out a little bit more than 1/2 inch. I put a little bit of a space behind here, and it kind of popped it out a little bit. Anyways, long story short, if you're really looking at that, you're gonna notice it, but if you're looking at it from like 10 feet away, it looks perfect. And then on this side, where I didn't have the tile, I purchased 3/8. I think that's 3/8, no, this one's 3/8. This one's 3/8, so I purchased 3/8 and I ran it around, across the top like that. And the tile kind of sticks in a little bit, but again, when you look at it from far, you don't notice. So yeah, I mean, looking at that and then transitioning to this one, looking at that, honestly, unless you're really, really nitpicking about it, you won't notice it. So I'm pretty satisfied with the way it turned out. So kitchen turned out great. I did have some up areas like this right here. I'm not sure if I'm gonna fix this, but this crack here is just so out of line. A lot of the problems, and again, I'm gonna keep saying this, I'm gonna make another video. A lot of the problems with this project were caused because of this herringbone pattern. Up here, I put in some trim to cover up the janky cuts, which I'll show you right now. And it looks good though. Anyways, that's that. Tile on tile, 100% do it again. And we'll go from there. Cheers.